Hi there, welcome. Today we're going to stretch out the hips. So if you're finding you're feeling a little tight in the hips or the low back, or you did a tough workout yesterday and you need a little recovery today, this is a great series to really open up the whole hip area as well as the low back. Okay, so my name's Gretchen McCarthy and I'm a certified Pilates instructor and have been teaching for the past 15 years. And so a lot of my stretches come from a very Pilates-esque foundation. We're gonna actually start on all fours. So take your hands right underneath your shoulders and take your knees right underneath your hips. And let's just do a couple of cat stretches here. So before we move, I want you to pull your belly in towards your spine, pull your shoulders down, and then just sort of tuck the pelvis and let the head drop last. Stay here and really inhale into your ribs. And then exhale, articulate the other way. And then you're going to open up the spine into an extension. Give me an inhale into your ribs here. And then exhale, move, tuck, flex, pull the belly button up towards the ceiling. Take an inhale. Exhale, articulate. Try not to shift your weight forward or back. Really stay centered and equal weight on the hands and the knees. So all 4 points, breathe in, should have the same weight on them. Keep moving, just feeling that articulation, feeling movement in the spine, feeling the breath start to circulate around the body. Inhale, open up the ribs, not the belly. Keep that belly tight. And then exhale. And then I just want you to come to a neutral spine, so that's right in between the flexion extension. Tuck your toes under, and from here, we're just going to come to an inverted V. So push your heels down and lift your butt up, and then just drop it down to all fours. Try that again. Lift it up, lift, stretch, and then drop down. And then one more time, lift, and then from here just alternate knee bends. Trying to push your heel down and keep those legs in line with your body frame. You don't want them out to the sides, that makes it a lot easier. Really try to keep them in your frame, hip bone distant. And then drop both knees down and stretch it back. From here, just take one leg forward and stretch out the hip. So you want a good step forward so that the knee does not go over the toes, okay? You want that knee to really stay in line with the arch of your foot. And then you want your hips to be straight forward. Try not to let one tilt, really keep them as square as possible. If you'd like, reach your arms up, shoulders down, lift up through the belly and go into an extension. Breathe it in. And then you're going to take both hands right into your instep and rest your knee right on your shoulder here. So your front leg should rest on the outer part of your arm. And just hold here and breathe. Don't let your knee lose contact with your arm. If you have the flexibility, you'd like to go further, you can actually drop down to those elbows if you'd like for a deeper stretch in that hip. And just keep breathing here. Trying to release more into it with each breath. If you're on your elbows, come back to your hands. And then you're just gonna come on up and then sort of flex your front foot. You might wanna push it forward a little bit. And then with a straight back, just kind of tilt forward and tilt to wherever you feel your hamstring grip. Once it grips, try to pull all 5 toes closer to your chest. And what I have to be really careful of is my foot sort of turning. You really want to get all 5 toes equally pulling back towards your chest. So get those pinky toes pulling too so that your leg stays parallel. And if you want to drop your hands to the floor, you can, but just keep reaching long out of that low back. You don't want to like kind of curl into it. You want length out of it. Keep trying to really make it parallel, keep it from moving. And then come on up, and we're gonna switch sides. Other leg forward. Again, make sure the knee is lining up with the arch of your foot. It's not going past your toes. Your hips are staying square. You don't want them hiking. You don't want too much of like a pelvic arch, but really try to send your tailbone down to the floor at the same time. May tilt a little bit, but you're really trying to keep that little tuck. You'll get a deeper stretch in that back thigh. Your legs have got to be engaged. You're not letting anything go. Your abs are tight the entire time. Reaching the arms up. Then you can give yourself a little extension, not into the low back, just think upper back extension. Belly tight. Nice deep inhale. And then exhale, send your hands into your instep. Again, that top shoulder is resting in the inner knee. That leg is making contact with your arm. And here you're like just relaxing those hips. If you would like to drop down to your elbows, go ahead and do so. Just don't lose contact of that knee. Don't let it go out to the side. Keep it in contact with the frame of your body. Every exhale, you're just kind of letting go a little bit more. If you're down on your elbows, come back up to your hands. And then use your arm strength to push yourself up. Flex that front foot. You might have to slide the heel forward a little bit so that you can stack your knee right under your hip. Flex your foot and then just hinge forward at the hip. You're not rounding into it. You're thinking length over that leg. And you want to get all 5 toes towards your chest, so really even it out. If you'd like to drop your fingertips to the floor and you have the flexibility, do so. Just keep length out of that low back and don't curve too much. Don't want to let go of that length. You can feel it right into that hamstring. If you have like blocks or something you want to rest on, you can do that as well here. Each exhale should help you get a little bit further. And then just send it back and stretch. I like to open the knees here and just sort of release those hips. Release your belly here. You can actually let it go right now. Feel the difference of letting go versus engaging. And then come on up. Have a seat and stretch your legs in front of you. Flexing your feet. Reach up towards the ceiling. And then stretch forward as you grab those toes. If you can't grab those toes, grab your shins, grab your thighs, anything. What I don't want to see is sort of letting go and stretching just over. That's going to do nothing for you. You want to lengthen out of the low back as you grab your toes. Lengthen. And then what I want you to do is sort of bend one leg and really stretch your other heel. And get a nice length in that straight leg. And really try to even out that foot. Get the pinky toes towards you. and then switch, bend the other and stretch through the other. Sending your nose closer to your knees each time you exhale. Keep your belly engaged, your back long. And then you're going to bend both legs, grab as much of your foot as you can, and then walk them forward as much as you can. Your body will stop you when it's too much. Length out of the low back, belly engaged, drop your head. Trying to stretch your legs long if you can. And release it. Okay, so what I want to do is cross one leg over the other. All right, so I'm crossing my right leg over my left. And then what I'm doing is I'm kind of pulling my right thigh into me. I'm going to give it a hug. And I'm going to turn in a twist. So I'm turning from my rib cage. I'm turning my chest over. And this back arm is just resting sort of where my spine would be. Get tall up through the spine and keep pulling that thigh into you to allow yourself to twist even more. Get taller as you twist. Belly engaged. And then flex your bottom foot. And then come to center. Now I'm going to turn to you so you can see what I'm doing, but basically it's the leg that's crossed in front of me. I am just crossing it over my thigh. And then this bottom leg is lined up with my hip bone. And then I'm going to lift up my seat and scooch forward and sit up as tall as I can. All right? And only go as forward as is comfortable for you. So you're trying to get your butt as close to that front heel as possible. And then this top leg, if it's curled in too much, you're sort of not getting that thigh stretch. I want you to press that knee forward and sit up tall, and that's where the stretch is. You'll feel it. Breathe into it and get as tall as possible. Great for that piriformis, sort of that little outer, inner, deep part of the seat, especially in that sort of gluteus medius. It's a hard muscle to get to. Hold it for a few more seconds. Again, try to like release into it. And then come out of it. Good. All right, so we're going to go to the other side. All I want you to do is cross over, flex that bottom foot, give yourself a hug, and then turn. So I place this hand sort of where my spine would be if I was, so my spine is right there, right? I turn to that, and I pull this in. You can also sort of take your hand and press it this way. Anything that's going to allow you to turn your chest a little bit more and get up taller. So this works just as fine too. And you can use that back hand to help support you as well. Just don't lean on it. You want to really be able to sort of let it go and stay tall. Flex that bottom leg. Pull in and stretch up. Shoulders down. And think about the rib cage rotating, the chest turning. Breathe taller, twist more, and then come to center. All right, and then we're going to just cross over like we did before. All right, turn to you. So you want to get that 4, and then you want to like kind of lift your seat, bring it closer to your heel, and then sit up as tall as you can. And then just kind of open up that hip by pressing the knee forward instead of into you. And you will notice one side tighter than the other, one side feeling completely different. That's totally normal. We sort of are working towards balance. If you want to work towards balance, I highly recommend my Intro to Pilates series. It will help you really get the foundational skills of Pilates that helps to balance your muscles. Just stretch here, feels good. Get taller, and you can keep kind of getting everything closer if you want. feels good on you. Don't push into anything, okay? You don't want to ever stretch too far. It should just be enough where you feel like a good stretch. I usually think like 80%, 70%. If you go up to 90% where you're feeling pain up to that level, it's too much. Just enough where it's a little uncomfortable. And I always keep my belly engaged no matter what I do to help support me. Good. And then just sort of release out of it. All right, so from here, what I want you to do is take one leg in, one leg out. All right, and then get down on both butt bones. And then turn towards this straight leg and just stretch your nose towards your knee. And then what I want you to do is sort of cross your wrists and grab your ankle and just pull closer so you can sort of feel your low back a little into this. Keep both butt bones down. Roll it up, and then we're going to sort of side bend it over. So you're sort of opening your heart towards the ceiling. And I find like my arm can get into the way here. So I start with this stretch over so I can really feel the length down here. And then take this top arm and then just rest it behind your low back. And try to turn your chest more towards the ceiling. Pulling and opening the ribs. And then take this arm that's behind your back, bring it up and over, and try to cross it over and grab your pinky toe. And then take your other hand and try to grab your arch. Opposite hip bone pulls down, opposite butt bone turns down, abs engaged, and then just roll it up. Good, other side. Okay, so from here, we're just stretching it over, okay? Square towards that foot, lifting and reaching out of the low back. And then you can cross if you'd like. Whatever feels good for you. Keeping both butt bones grounded. You can even just turn open here and stretch it, feeling the stretch all the way down your side. Take that top hand, rest it behind you, and open your heart up to the ceiling. Keep breathing, never hold your breath. And then again, take it and cross over and grab your pinky toe. And this hand grabs your arch. Both hip bones down and try to kind of pull your chest towards your thighs. Feel a stretch in that lower back area as well as your hamstring. Really try to just ground the hips.